Hello everyone! I have a very pretty Easter card for you, which includes a very cool distress ink color combination that you can use for other projects as well. Here are the main products I used. I will be going through them as I'm making the card, and I will have the product list over on my website in the corresponding blog post. The link is in the description. So let's make the card. I first die cut a big egg. I used a die set from Sizzix. It has multiple egg dies. If you cannot find this set, Waffle Flower has similar set as well. I used a second biggest die, so the egg is slightly smaller than my card base, and I run it through my die cutting machine. What I really wanted to do with this die cut, and this is the whole idea for this card, I wanted to use an embossing folder, emboss the egg, and then use distress inks to add color. I picked this embossing folder from Cuttlebug. You can use any other embossing folder that you already have. I don't have that many embossing folders. All I was looking for is something that fits. I place the egg into the embossing folder and I run it through my die cutting machine. Here you can see it, how it looks like just white without any color. I was thinking skipping the coloring as it looks really nice just white, but I really wanted to add some color. That was the plan I had for this card. As I said, I used distress inks for the coloring. I picked the Wilted Violet and Lucky Clover. I had a feeling these two colors will go very well together, and in my opinion, I was right. I really love it. I used the Lucky Clover at the top and the Wilted Violet at the bottom. I applied a few layers to get a nice vibrant colors. I was also blending and combining the colors in the middle, which created a very pretty blue. I finished up the blending, and next I wanted to add a little bit of sparkle to the background. I was actually inspired by my autumnal card that you can see here, where I used the bronze Perfect Pearls powder. I wanted to do this here as well, but this time I used the Perfect Pearl color, which is just a shimmer powder. I used a dry brush and I applied the powder over some of the raised areas. I forgot to use Versamark ink. I'm not really sure if it's needed, but I used it on my autumnal card and here I just forgot. If you have more experience with Perfect Pearls, let me know in the comments if Versamark is needed. I did spray it with water to set the powder in, and since I used distress inks, it did activate the color a little bit. That is not a big deal for me, but if you don't want it to happen, just skip the Perfect Pearls. I'm not really sure if you can use it without water. The background is done, now let's work on the greeting. I wanted to create a tag with the greeting. I picked this tiny tag die from Sizzix. It's from a set with multiple tags. I hardly have any Easter greetings, so I definitely did not have one that fits the size of the tag, so I put two greetings together. First, I used the word Easter from one stamp. You can cut the stamp, but I don't like to do that, so instead I just used a piece of masking tape. I taped the word Happy and inked up the word Easter. I removed the tape and stamped the word. I did the same with the word happy. Here I used a different stamp. I needed a stamp that is slightly smaller, and I did the same. I masked the word that I didn't need, inked it up, removed the mask, and stamped it. Next, I placed the die over the greeting, secured it with a washi. I ran it through my die cutting machine, and now I have a little tag with a sentiment that fits. The reason why I created the tag is because I wanted to use a twine, wrap it around the egg, and attach the tag on the twine. I picked this silver twine and I attached it onto the egg. I always struggle attaching the twine. It is always quite finicky. I wrapped the twine 3 times around the egg. At the back, I secured it with a washi so it stays in place. Next, I tied a string in the front, and I grabbed the tag and I put one of the strings through the tag. So the string doesn't untie while I'm attaching the tag, I placed a pair of scissors on top of it. I tied the string again to hold the tag, and then I made a bow. I adjusted the bow to make it a bit smaller so it fits the size of the card. I also made sure it's firmly tied. You could also add a dot of glue if you want, and then I cut the ends of the string. Next, I attached a double-sided tape on the back of the egg. I didn't attach the tape over the strings so it's not uneven. This is a very quick card to make. I actually had enough time to make another card, which you will see in my next video. And I just didn't want to finish yet, so I decided to add some splatter over the card base. I squished the distress inks onto acrylic blocks, added some water, and with a brush I sprinkled the ink over the background. Even though the splatter is over the whole background, I added a little bit more splatter over the edges, since that's what you will see at the end. I let the card base dry, and after it was dry, I placed the die cut egg on top of it. I removed the backing paper from the tape, flipped it over, and attached it on top of the card base. Lastly, I decided to add some embellishments. More specifically, Nuvo drops, the ones with glitter in them. I don't have that many colors, but I do have turquoise and purple. And I also picked clear. I squeezed them onto the card. The colorful I squeezed on the side of the egg and the clear one on top of it. I actually did the first dots off to the side on a scrap of paper just to test it and get the gel flowing. Sometimes, especially the first dot, is just a mess and can ruin your card. The card is finished. I think the idea using an embossing folder to create a pattern on an Easter egg makes it really special without hardly any effort. I also love the distressing color combo. I think these colors really go together. You can also see how it shimmers in the light thanks to the perfect pearls. And if you would like to create something else for Easter, last year I made a card where I painted bunny ears with watercolors. It's a fun card, so make sure you check it out. It's only a YouTube short. And I will have another Easter card idea in my next video, so make sure you subscribe. Until then, have a wonderful day.